Alright, today we're going to take a look at Transformers Masterpiece Bumblebee. This is MP21, and this is the knockoff Chinese version. And you can tell that right away because it says Takasa Tony right here instead of Takara Tomy. Apparently that's their own little way to get around the trademark, I guess they think, but obviously that's probably not going to get done in a court of law. Anyway, this is it. You can see it comes with Bumblebee and it comes with Spike and Daniel. And when you see Bumblebee outside the package, you'll understand why it comes with Daniel as well in his exosuit, and that's because Bumblebee is tiny. Remember they're making the Masterpiece line to be the same size as they would be in real life. And that is nowhere more apparent when you see this picture here of Optimus Prime barely able to reach Bumblebee with his hand. And yes, Bumblebee is that tiny. Alright, so again, this is a knockoff version. Again, the package is exactly the same as you'd expect from the previous knockoffs. It has a nice foil packaging anywhere that it should, and the Volkswagen sticker. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at the guy. Now, one thing that's nice about the knockoffs, and that is they are not afraid to give you extra stuff. Alright, so it's not huge, but you get your manual, which is the same for the Takara Tomy. You get your sticker, I'm sorry, not sticker, your card. This right here, I've already taken them off, but these are the rear view windows, and you put those on the car. It takes a step, I guess, from them from doing it in the factory, and it's a little cheaper just to have you do it themselves, so I've already done that. But what you get is you get his G2 face. That does not come in the original from Japan. If you look at the back of this, you only see his regular face and his smiling happy face. And I would say here, the smiling happy face looks really dorky. The knockoff one is much less happy and grinny, and it actually looks pretty good. So I'm actually a big fan of the knockoff for that. So let's go ahead and take a look at all of this and see what we come in. We can come here with Daniel and his exoskeleton. Bumblebee comes with a little blaster. He comes with a spare tire. Here you can see the smiley face, which you can tell is not really all that smiley. It just looks basically like he has his mouth open. So he comes with that third face piece. He has one on right now. He's got the smile, which just kind of looks like a mouth open, and he's got the G2, kind of like the battle mask. So let's take a look at all this, and we'll look at Daniel first. All right, so let's go ahead and dump this out so I can get rid of the box here. All right, so first of all, we'll take a look at Daniel. And when I first took him out of the package and his helmet was off, I was like, oh, Chinese knockoff. That's why the helmet doesn't stay on. But no, it's actually because there's a gimmick because of that. So remember, when Daniel's here, he's looking straight at you. However, when he is transformed into his little road car, you lift his head up, and then he can look at you straight that way. So that's a pretty cool little gimmick that they put in, that they maybe didn't necessarily have to. Okay, so let's take a look at the paint apps first, and we'll take a look at see what he can do, and then we'll do the transformation. All right, so he can move his arms. You can see the hand is right here. It's not really an open fist or anything. It's just painted on. But remember, you want to be able to move him around, because if you want to have some of the accurateness from the movie, remember, he had these blasters right here. So he looks kind of peggy. There's lots of ball joints right here, but that's so you can really move this like he did kind of in the movie. You can see, you know, where he just uses use your blasters, son. So that's what he's able to do with this. So he's got some nice little red paint apps here. Obviously his face is painted. You can see it's kind of a off yellow and a brown for the head, for the hair. Let's go ahead and, I guess we can put that on. And then he's got some yellow paint right there. And then a lot of this blue right here, this is actually painted on. But that's about it in terms of paint app. He's really just gray and blue, kind of like he was in the movie. There was an exosuit. It was supposed to be, you know, it was nothing fancy. Now, since this is a knockoff, here's a few issues with the knockoff. One, you put this in too tight, it will pop off. You can see it popping off there in the video. Ball joints right here on this, you can see it just fell off. The ball joints, they come off very easy right there. Everything else seems to be okay, except for when we get to the transformation. These little side pieces here, they do not stay in far enough, and I'll show you that when I get there. So let's do the transformation quick, because it's a pretty cool little transformation. And first, let me show you what you can do. So the head can't turn because it's just on that swivel. Arms can rotate in any direction you want because it is all on ball joints, so there's no issue here whatsoever. Rotate as much as you want. But that's only at the shoulder and I guess kind of the elbow area, if that's what you want to call this. There is no waist articulation, but he does have these side flaps that can lift up and down. He's got ball joints, obviously here at his hip. His knees can move back and forth, and you can mess around with his foot right here, like this. That can move around if you want to do that. And you can see here his leg just fell off just from me kind of moving it. And it feels like it pops on tight, but you know, Daniel's really not going to be, these guys aren't play pieces, so just be able to put him something like this, he's going to look fine like that, and that's not going to be an issue. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the transformation. First thing, as I mentioned, is you can put his head back, put the helmet back on, and then you are going to want to, this is going to be the top right here, since his head is looking straight out. Push his knees all the way down. See how this, well, it popped off. This knee comes down below it right now. So move that down, and then, actually, since it's good it fell off, there's a little tab right here. It goes into this little groove right in the middle of this crotch. So that goes right there like that. So it's the same thing with the other one. Move it in there as well, and then push them together. You know what? And then while you're doing that, or before you do that, you can do the tires first. These come in and you rotate this out. See, this piece comes all the way around, pegs in the opposite side, and these are his back wheels. And then the feet come all the way back up and make this little, kind of like the bed of a truck thing, I guess. So you can fold those together, and then it might be easier to go ahead and put them in like that. And it probably is, but this guy is really tight, and that's probably pretty good. So there you go. So here's the back of it. And then if you come around here and you look at the arms, you can see that these pieces right here look like they could flip over, and that's exactly what they do. Flip it, flip this one here, and then you can see hidden inside are little wheels. So go ahead and pull this out, and they will stop right here. Pull this guy out, and you can tell which way they're going to have to go. They're going to have to go like this. So, oops, sorry, like this. So now, oh, I'm getting all turned around. Okay, oh, that's what the problem was. The arms, there's this little chest piece here. This float goes down, and then the arms fall into place. You can see right here. They just kind of rotate backwards like this. And there's a little hole right here and a peg. That goes in there, that goes in there. And that's what I was saying before about these little side pieces. You can't see them, but they're right here and here. These don't, see? If I push the end, they keep popping back out. So they don't stay as tight as they should. It should be flush like this. Let's see that. So this should be it. And right now, oops, I forgot to rotate the wheels down. There you go. Right now, everything is sticking together. And this is him in his little exosuit, exoskeleton, you know, car mode. So you can see he looks pretty good here. It's nice, it's tight, it's a nice little transformation. The wheels all roll. Again, I don't know if the regular would be, if the actual normal version, you know, is going to be that much tighter than this, but these just kind of want to pop out. This one is staying in, but this one's come out a little bit. So you can push them in, and if you leave them like that, then it stays pretty good. So it stays in pretty good. It's just something to think about. Okay, so let's go ahead and put Daniel off to the side, and let's take a look at Bumblebee. Bumblebee is fantastic. I went ahead and put in the rear view windows. Let's take a look at a size comparison. Come here compared to Blue Streak. You can see in terms of size comparison of cars, they look very similar, pretty much the way they should. Maybe Bumblebee is a tiny bit smaller because there's a lot more room in here than in here, even though there's probably about the same amount much room in both of the cars. But it is very, very similar. It looks great. It's a really nice comparison, I think. Like I said, maybe Bumblebee's a little too small, but it's not by much. All right, so move him off, and let's see what we can do in the car. So in the car mode, pretty cool. You have nice articulation on the wheels. You can see that it says Volkswagen right there. You have the little Volkswagen emblem right here on the top. And Autobot logo right here on the top as well. Pretty nice. You have this little extra license plate. You have some clear plastic right here for the back rear taillights. You have really nice painted front headlights and the little handle right here to open the hood. So they've done a really nice job with the articulation on this guy. Now, in terms of the gun, there's a little groove right here where you can store the gun like that. And if you so choose, you can store the wheel down here as well. You see it kind of stays in there like that, and then it all stays together. Now there is no place to store obviously the faces, and we'll look at those in a minute, but that's where you can store everything else. And if you want to, you can leave the gun there, but you can pull out this little piece like this. This will actually store in the tire itself. Oops. It falls out a little bit, but that doesn't really matter. And I'll show you why here just now. So even if you keep in there like that, you put this piece into that little groove that you just took the license plate out of, and now you have where the little spare tire is. So that's pretty cool. Again, this guy is all painted yellow. I don't see hardly any yellow plastic on him. It's all paint. So they did a really nice job. Obviously, this is all clear plastic up here for the windows. It's a few pieces, but this is all clear painted plastic, so be careful with that. But in terms of the painting, it's pretty good. There's not a lot of bad issues with it because it is a knockoff. You can see there's a little bit of silver on my guy right here. But if you see any yellow paint on the windows or stuff like that, you can easily scratch it off. There was a little bit where I scratched off, and like right here. But it looks pretty good. I gotta say, they did a nice job. Okay, so let's look at the transformation. First of all, pull out the gun and spread the legs. We can go ahead and do the whole leg section all at once. You can see you open it and just kind of pull it down. Pull down the knees, and you can even pop them together. When you pull this down, you hear that it snaps in, and then you have the feet. So you kind of pull this in, the tires rotate in like this, and he actually will stand on his tires. And then these are the sides of the car. They just wrap around and then peg into the side. So wrap it around, peg it into the side, and those are the feet, and they're pretty good, super easy. So this guy in itself is actually a very easy transformation. All right, so next thing you want to do is go ahead and you need to pull the rest of this apart. So you're going to pull his hands out here, just kind of rotate them down like this. All right, so we can go and lift this back, and if you do, there's his head. So let's go ahead and move the symbol out. So you push the front end down, and there's a little place right here to stick your fingernail. So do that, and then you get the nice Autobot symbol. And it's not just painted on, it's actually a molded Autobot symbol on the top of there, and then you can feel it with it's very textured, and then it's colored there. So before you get too much further, you want to pull this whole thing back as far as you can. Move these pieces wherever you need to, and then this flap folds completely underneath. And sometimes you just have to move him around enough so you can get enough room so he can go back there. Okay. Oop, there went his tire. All right. There you go. So, and you'll see that this guy actually goes inside of him like that. So it's kind of an interesting little transformation. So if you want to do the next thing, you can go ahead and fold. You can rotate this whole back piece. Rotate this whole back piece like this. So the back of the car is at the top. Fold this all the way in. And then you can see there is a little opening right here and a tab. And that goes right in there. There you go. So we're set up like that. Okay, so now all you really have is the arms, and then you're done. Let me get some more light here. Okay, so now go ahead and pull these down. There's a one tab. It's easier here if you just move this little light out of the way, the little tail light back. And then there's a tab, and you can't really see it very well, but the arm is tabbed into this piece. So just kind of wiggle it free, and then this whole piece comes down, and the wheel has to go behind that. The whole piece comes down like this, and now you can see that this kind of covers the inside. If you look at the other side, you can see how open that is and how bad that looks. So it's the same thing here. Bring this in, pull this out a little bit, and now it's tabbed in nice, and he looks nice and full. You don't have to worry about any of that other stuff. Last part, pull his hands out, and he's done. Okay, so when I was transforming him, his back of his tire fell off. So let's put the tire back on. Okay, so it's a good place to keep it. And this is Bumblebee. So we'll take a look at all he can do first in a little bit, but let's take a look at his face first, because I think that's kind of fun. So the face is a great sculpt. It is, let's go a little darker here. It is, if you can see right here, he has a little groove off to the side, which they all do. It looks perfect. You would never know that his face comes on and off. So this is the regular look of him. You just put your finger here, kind of push against his horns, and there it goes. So we'll take that off. Here is his smiling face. You can see it kind of looks like he's smiling. You know, he's pretty happy in the cartoon, so it's not a big deal that we have that. And then take this off. And they fit nice and tight, which is great. You don't want them falling off or anything like that. And then lastly, we have his G2 face, which is pretty cool. So let's leave the G2 face on and let's look around and see what he can do. All right, so this guy does not have moving hands like the other ones did. You do have a little place where it looks like there's a pin here, but it does not move. It is just a closed fist. So you can go ahead and put the gun in and it holds it nice and tight. You don't have to worry about dropping it. Before we see exactly how his movements are, let's look at the size comparison. Here he is next to Prowl. You know, as you would expect, Prowl is bigger, and you know, they look great together. I mean, this Bumblebee is a really good addition to the Masterpiece line. It's exactly the way it should look. All right, quickly, just keep this under 20 minutes. Let's see what he can do. First of all, head rotation, every direction you can do. Same with shoulders. They're on ball joints. So they can go anywhere. He has rotation on his upper arm, and then rotation as well at his elbow. His hand can move in and out because of the transformation, but that's about it. You cannot turn it or anything like that. And waist, he can move his waist around. He can move his leg around as well. It's on one of those really nice ball joints, so you can move that. Like I showed before, you can lock the knee if you want to. So if you want to get him to stand really good, like all these Autobots, they all stand on the part of their car, so they stand really nice. You can really do whatever pose you want to do, and they won't have much of an issue. There you go. Oh, okay. And then obviously, because you can move his leg, you can see here, you can move his foot pretty much any direction that you want. All right, so that is him. Let's see if I can get him transformed back in less than 2 minutes, which is what I have left. So we're pulling the hood, switch it around, put his head all the way back, gotta pull his arms out. Now you lift the whole piece off. You can see lift, kind of push his head backwards, bring this up. That fits nice and tight. The hardest part again is getting this guy back out, this little flap. Oh, that worked pretty well that time. And now you can see where we're going. I like the back first, hands in. Okay. Then you're going to go ahead and tab them back into their little spot. Tabs easy, bring down the light. And that part is super easy because now you just push it in and it fits there right away. So same thing with this one, hand is already in. We're going to rotate, we're going to put the tab in, rotate down the light, bring that in, and there you go, there you have the back of the car. So this guy's really easy. Go ahead and undo the pieces here along the side, so you have the side of the car, and then this just kind of folds in, just kind of push, and you see how easy that is. Same thing with this one, bring it up, and you just kind of push it in, and you see everything just goes into place. So last thing is the wheels out, make sure he's all snapped together, and there's Bumblebee. Very easy transformation, very satisfying, great figure. I would definitely say to get him because you get both these guys together. You get these guys together and they're only like 30 bucks. All right, please like this. Please give me any ideas or any quotes you have, any ideas, any questions. Thanks a lot. Please subscribe.